Let's go to last night after George Kittle's big Monday Night Football performance with Scott Van Pelt.
Let's have some fun on the way out here. My producer is an Iowa grad, and I know that there's my favorite part of this week is how many incredible games there are. There's a nooner in Lincoln. You never lost there.
Yeah.
You know, there's a guy that's he's got a burgeoning media career that's busting with the boys and all that. He's in Nebraska. I don't know how he's doing after what happened at State College. I don't know if you want to address him directly, or this floor is yours as it relates to Iowa and Nebraska.
Hey, Will Compton. Didn't really appreciate your voice memo on the day of my Monday Night Football game talking crap to me about Nebraska, Iowa. Didn't settle with me. You know what? I didn't like it. And, you know, that's the type of thing Nebraska does. They take cheap shots. You know, hey, I'm preparing for a Monday Night Football game on national television, and you're coming to me about Nebraska, Iowa. That means you're scared. You're terrified. You lost by 30 at Penn State. They just fired their coach. You lost by 30? Are you kidding me? I was going to come in there, run the ball down your throat, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sit on the bus that doesn't go anywhere and shut your mouth. Will Compton.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, the man who sits on a bus that doesn't go anywhere and has been representing Nebraska louder than anybody that I've ever witnessed. From Bussin With The Boys and Will Compton.
Yeah. What's up, boys?
All right, so you got buried on SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt last night by George Kittle. I saw your response, epic, just like most things that you do on the internet. Iowa, Nebraska, not a lot of people thinking about nationally. What do we need to know? And are you actually confident in Nebraska? And if Iowa beats the living dog shit out of Nebraska, which is possible, are you worried about what old George Kittle might do to you next? Will, you know what I'm talking about.
I think when people talk about this Iowa-Nebraska game, because, again, this type of game is for the sickos. These are the sickos who love college football. There's not going to be a lot of points scored. I want to say last year Nebraska punted 7 times. Iowa punted 9. It's been decided in 1 score or less in the last 5 years. And my confidence never wavers on the Big Red. George wants to sit there. Number one, Iowa guys, they can't use their brains. George is on national television talking about Will. He wants to, I don't appreciate this. This is a cheap shot. He's going on national television. Can't respond to me directly. I'm going to him to talk to him directly.
Privately.
He wants to not respond. He wants to go around and go on national television, take shots at me when I'm just trying to prepare for some college football on Saturday. I'm watching last night. Volume was on 8. I'm preparing for, I think it was North Carolina State was where I was in my prep work. Volume was on 8 on the TV, and then all of a sudden I hear Scott Van Pelt saying, I know you want to talk to your Nebraska friend directly here in a few minutes. I kind of look over, is George about to talk shit on national television? He don't respond to my text when I'm trying to go to him man-to-man. He wants to take the coward's way out and go and broadcast it to everybody else, but doesn't want to talk to me back and forth. Wow. That is the Iowa brain at work. And he talks about, you know, we lost by 30 to Penn State last week. Little does everybody know that game was meaningless last week. You think we ran one scripted play in practice against Penn State? No. It's all eyes on Iowa Hawkeyes because, yes, we are 1-9 in our last 10. That is Big Brother right now. But this is Big Brother who's bleeding. They can't even defend their state. They can't even defend their state of Iowa. They lose to Iowa State. What makes you think they can defend the border? I know Ty Schmidt's sitting there shaking in his boots right now because old Matt Rule, Emmett Johnson, and Willie C. is going to run wild on the Iowa Hawkeyes this weekend.
Okay.
That's all I got. That's the promo.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I think you should feel good about the delivery. I think you should feel good. Volume at 8, good idea. Even setting the table a little bit, looking over at it. And then obviously the response was epic. Great promo. I'd say George Kittle dropping right into a wrestling promo immediately upon the question being asked was also a special moment in there. I appreciate that Nebraska feels this way about Iowa. Does Iowa think about Nebraska?
I don't. Personally.
What?
No, because
what is the border all about, no, Will? It turns out it doesn't matter.
Will was in Nebraska wasn't in the Big Ten when you played there, right? You were in the Big 12.
We were Big 12 for 2 years and Big 10 for 2 years.
Yeah.
Willie C. went 2-0 against
Exactly,
Iowa.
and that's what I was going to say. So I understand that Will, because he did. He went 2-0 against the Hawks. But,
Willie C. did, yeah.
Yeah, Willie C. did. Nebraska's 4-10 against Iowa in the last 14. And guess what? Will Compton ain't coming through that door to play on Saturday. He's not. So that's one thing. But, like you said, am I looking forward to watching this game? No. like it's going to be 3.5 hours of wanting to rip your goddamn eyeballs out, and whoever has the ball last, and we're probably going to see a 58-yard field goal from one way or the other to decide this game. But no, I'm not losing any sleep over Nebraska because why would I? We got Mark Gronowski playing quarterback. Okay,
agreed.
Dylan Raiola's legs in 55 different pieces.
Who's your returner?
Caden Weechin. You don't even. But that's the thing. Nebraska's not going to punt to Caden Weech, and they know what he can do. And you know what?
What, you think they're going to just blast it out of bounds?
Yeah, I do, because Michigan State should have done that last week, and they didn't.
Nebraska has the punter that can go both ways, right? He's a righty and a lefty, if I recall.
I have no idea because you know what? I'm not paying any attention to Nebraska. And I understand. We've had Matt Rule on the show all year.
Yeah.
We have. Exactly. He is a good guy. But, no, I mean, Will, you're from Missouri. That's the show me state. Nebraska's going to have to show me something before I'm losing any sleep over that game.
Ooh, Willie C., eat that and don't respond. We've talked too much about this game already. Let's move along. You said you were doing your college ball scouting for the weekend. Ohio State, Michigan. Obviously, Taylor, the other Bussin boy, is a huge Michigan alum, Michigan stud. 2,187 days it's been since Ohio State has beat Michigan. And obviously, everybody from Ohio thinks about it. Everybody from Michigan celebrates it. What are your thoughts on this weekend's matchup? And is this the one where the Buckeyes can finally say, we finally beat this team that has been our only kind of spur in our ass over the last decade of dominance for our team?
Yeah, I would have given Michigan no shot before last weekend. They played their best game of ball last weekend. Bryce Underwood had a stat line. The running game's still moving, even with their third-string running back. They can play salty on defense. Dude, Ohio State, you see it from afar. You're an internet guy watching the victory laps, the patting on the head, everything that happens. And when they were 20-something point underdogs last year, people talk like, did ego get in the way of Ohio State and they wanted to beat them in a certain way, and that kind of got in their way, and they end up dropping that game to where they're planting flags on the field. I mean, you got kids reenacting plays of planting the Michigan flag on Ohio State's field. And Ryan Day wakes up in a sweat in the middle of the night just thinking about this game. Everybody's fired up for this game. The hype, I hope it lives up to expectation. I know that would torture Ohio State fans, but you called me earlier and you gave me a little whisper. If you cannot put this on the show.
What? No, don't do it. We're live.
If I could just
say it quietly.
I'll say it quietly because we can't let people hear this. I do think Ohio State handles business. I think this is where they get the monkey off their back. Okay. I hate saying that because I love my boy. I am riding with Michigan with the points here.
Yeah,
but there's a massive opportunity. There's a massive opportunity for Ohio State to beat the living hell out of Michigan. Yeah. I just want to see chaos. I'm a pro chaos guy. Just give me chaos 10 times out of 10. Somebody's a slight underdog. They can kind of disrupt the entire system by getting a win. I want to see it happen because I want to see the internet just up in flames at all times. That's what I love about the sport of the internet.
Yeah, the sport of the internet is obviously one that's very intense and active all the time. The sport of college.
Hey, Pat, let me ask you.
Are we still?
I know what AJ,
we're dumping. AJ can't even hear us right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can't.
I know where AJ's going. Pat, what do you think about this game? What do you think about Ohio State, Michigan?
I want to let you know I can't wait to get up to Ann Arbor. I can't wait to get up to Ann Arbor. Can't wait. Very thankful for all those Ann Arbor students that will hang out with us 9 a.m. on Saturday. I will say the location of our set is always very far away from the stadium, so it's always an interesting thing because we have to hop on golf carts, drive like what is seemingly 10 miles to get to the stadium, and then go inside. So it's always a bit chaotic up there, but boy, it's an honor to be amongst all the Ann Arborans and all the great people in Michigan. There's billionaires walking around everywhere. Billionaires' kids just going to school. It's a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a great matchup, Willie C. That's what I think. I think it's going to be a really good game. That's what I think.
We got to wait to see what happens when you got that shirt off. By the way, hey, your body, you look good out there with that shirt off. I know you've been putting in the work. I know you've been in the sauna and working out. You look good. You look good.
Thank you. We can say that louder, though. You don't have to do inside voice for that one. We're allowed to let other people hear that. A lot of good science, Willie C., as you know as well. But science doesn't work if you don't. That's what's what I've been told. So I've been trying to become a better human. I've been trying to become a better human in it all. I wish I could grow a mustache like what you have on your face right now, but I think this game is going to live up to the hype, and I can't wait to get up there to Michigan. And everything I said there is true. We do take golf carts like 45 minutes to get to the stadium. They'll have like Jen Latta will have a 20-minute piece. Then they'll have somebody, Pete Thamel will maybe break down the entire season for like 15 minutes. And then we get in there into the stadium. It's so, there's just humans everywhere though. I mean, that's 100,000+. What's the big house? What is it, 100 and what?
109 maybe?
Like 100.
Beings at one place, let alone outside of it and around it. It does feel, it's a special place to be. Lucky to be there. Hope the game lives up to the hype. All right, let's talk about some other shit happening around the sports world. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, well, a lot of hair ago for you. You said Joe Burrow was the best quarterback in the NFL when healthy. Finally, he's back on Thanksgiving night versus the Ravens, and his record versus the Ravens is pretty filthy. I think he's got like 21 touchdowns, 5 picks. He's averaging like 300 yards a game versus them. What do you think about the Bengals? Do you think they're going to make a run at it here, maybe come back a little bit? They're banged up, very much so. T. Higgins out. Jamar Chase back from the spit. Do you think that Cincy can make a run here?
Jamar Chase back from the spit. Joe Burrow back from injury. Do those things make the defense play better? I don't know. I don't think so. Like, if Joe Burrow's out on the field under center, does that mean the second effort there against old big boy from the Steelers a couple weeks ago, is he actually going to throw his face in the fan instead of kind of coddle up and fold when the lights get on him? I have no clue. I like him this week against the Ravens. I like some chaos. They won't go on a run because, again, their defense is brutal. But I would love to see Joey B light it up first game back, like a month ahead of schedule with his injury, especially a turf toe. Like, anybody who's had turf toe know that's a tough injury to come back from. And he got under the scope with it too. He had to get surgery. But I like Joey B this weekend against the Ravens.
Let's talk about the Bengals as a whole. When they put their team together the way they did and spent the money that they spent, did you think to yourself, oh, that's how teams that have won football games have done it in the past? Is that what do you think they'll ever be able to win?
So much money on a few offensive players, like, absolutely not. Like,
that's a shame, isn't it? Like, that's a shame. We all kind of saw. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's a shame. It's a shame. It's like you kind of see, teams that try and do that. What's that?
George is calling.
Oh, we got.
Yep, absolutely. Back to rivalry week. Here we are.
Hey, listen, George.
We're live. We're live
We're live right now. Can you say hello? Can you wave?
Hey, congrats on big night last night, George.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Go Hawks. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go promo.
I saw their tag. They tagged me on Twitter. I'm trying to get a massage right now, get my body right to go play in Cleveland this week. And you're just taking cheap shots again? You probably
okay, cheap shot guy. This is the first time you've been face to face with me, because I tried FaceTiming you yesterday and you took the coward's way out. It's early in the morning when I FaceTimed you. You had all day long to respond to your boy, but you want to go like, hey, Scott Van Pelt, like, let me go on your show and talk to Willie C. Like, everybody sees that you're rattled right now.
You don't get to go on Scott Van Pelt. You get asked to go on Scott Van Pelt. I don't know if you've ever been on Scott Van Pelt, but it's an honor to work with that legend. You called Pat to get on his show, didn't you?
No, Pat.
Okay, no.
Don't try to listen. I know it's right now in Nebraska and Iowa, but don't disrespect me right now, George. I'm trying to keep my head above water.
Hey, I hate you this week, and I'm going to hug you next week.
I love you. Take care of yourself.
Hate me now, love me later. Love that.
Amen.
Love everything about that.
You said it.
All right, we just talked about the Bengals obviously having a recipe for success, which we all certainly know. I'm happy that happened. I'm happy you guys are that tight, by the way. That's a beautiful thing. I don't know who posted this photo. It's messed up. I don't like this.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Photoshop, man. Like,
AI's crazy, man. That looks real.
You look jacked. You look good.
Yeah, you look.
Wait, is that?
Are you on the same science as me, bro? Hey.
I don't know if I'm putting the same science in my body as you. I need to get on that plane. I need to hit you up on the side. Like, hey, what do we got going here? 'Cause I'm soft right now.
The affinity people are good people. You need to know that the affinity people are good people. Let's talk about great people. There has been a semifinals list put out about the greatest of all time. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. I got to put you on the spot here, too. Played a long, long time in the league, 9 years. Not sure where we're at with year 10, if that's, still up in the air. But I got to get you to pick 5 of these guys that's going to get into the Hall of Fame. Not sure if you can see the names up here. I know a couple for me, teammate Vinny, Robert Mathis, Larry Fitzgerald, obviously first ballot, Drew Brees, probably first ballot, Luke Kuechly. But those are probably my 5, I think, off the top. Who do you think is going to get in this year with this finalist list?
Oh, what a spot to be in right here.
Hell yeah.
I can kind of read half of the list. Luke Kuechly, like that to me, Luke Kuechly, no matter what. That was my king growing up, along with you too, AJ Hawk.
Of course.
Dude, we're talking about the Hall of Fame. All these guys are great. You ask me on any given day, any time of the day, I'm like, yeah, that dude, he seems like a Hall of Famer. I have absolutely no clue who should get into the Hall of Fame. Drew Brees, hell of a player. Phillip Rivers, Frank Gore, Larry Fitzgerald, Jason Witten, Luke Kuechly, Rodney Harrison. Dude, I have no clue. That's above my pay grade. I never played at a level to where I could even flirt with the idea of the Hall of Fame, even though my 5 years will be coming up here very shortly.
Okay.
So that'll be talked about, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
But I have no clue. They all deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
You never know if you'd be a Hofnom, brother. You never know if you'd be a Hofnom. You know,
I never know.
I'm a 3-time Hofnom. I think they felt obligated strictly because I'm on a microphone. Now, talking about that, one of the Hofnoms this year was Mr. AJ Hawk.
Hell yeah.
Let's go,
AJ Hawk didn't make it to the
AJ.
semifinals, but we'll get there next year.
Yeah.
We'll get there next year, AJ. And obviously, anytime your name is associated with any of this, it's special. And I think we all hold the Hall of Fame in such high regard. I think it's one of those things that every player has respect for. And whenever you watch these greats have emotional moments whenever they're told that they're going to live on forever in the Hall, it's a beautiful thing. Impossible task figuring out who deserves to go in and who doesn't deserve to go in, because it's like Phil Rivers. Phil Rivers is like a starting quarterback in the NFL, a very good one for 20-some years or whatever the case is. What did he win? What did he win? It's like a lot of games. No, that's what I'm asking. I'm not asking about that. I'm asking about Super Bowl. And then you skipped right over one person. You were reading that graphic. Skipped over Eli Manning. Willie C did. Willie C just skipped right over Eli Manning. Go ahead.
It wasn't intentional, Eli. I'm on the show right now from my phone, so the ones that are bolded, those are the ones.
But that's a whole other conversation, because his final record. What's his final record? And it's like, who cares? He's Eli Manning. You don't think he should live on forever? It's like, Bruce, how do you view the Hall of Fame? Your name's going to be up for it. You're going to be in conversations about it for the rest of your life, whether you're in it or talking about going in it, which seemingly becomes a thing. What are your thoughts on the Hall of Fame and how it should kind of be handled?
Yeah, it's the ultimate. I mean, I've sat in that crowd now for like 4 or 5 years, because I've had a guy go in the last 4 or 5 years, and it's just amazing. What a day. And you know, to see the families and everybody there. Obviously, Rondé Barber was my last one, and he's like my nephew. So, it's a Hall of Fame that's it.
How about them voting? What do you think the thoughts are?
Yeah, to me, that's when those guys get in there and start fighting it out, you got to have a hell of a guy representing you. I have found that out. If you got a meek, mild guy that's your reporter, you ain't getting in.
I said that for a while.
Yeah.
You got to have a dog. You got to have a dog in there fighting.
So we've had a guy who I think everybody has respect for. Obviously, his name now is on the
media room or whatever.
The journalist super duper area at the Colts facility and everything like that. And obviously I have respect for him a lot. But it took Dwight Freeney a long time to get in. And it's like, how is this even a case? And then I started hearing the same thing you're hearing. Well, at the table, the person representing's got to fight for it. It's like, well, that guy doesn't really like me. He put me on that guy put me as like the third team punter for the Colts whenever he put the Colts together. And I'm like, he's the one that's in there. Else that he potentially has like just a little bit of slight against. It's like he's the one representing the entire. I don't know how that's a scary situation. Maybe we need to reevaluate how these decisions are made. For all things Willie C, maybe we just have future Hofnoms like Willie C get the pen and start sending people in. Maybe that's what we need to do.
I would love that. Whether it's Heisman voting, Hall of Fame voting, I would love to be part of all that stuff. Give me a pen and paper, and I'll let something rip.
I love that. Any NFL stories we should talk about that you are really keen on?
You won't like this one, but pro chaos. Would love to see some chaos in the AFC South. I'd love to see there's an opportunity for the Houston Texans and all the momentum that they have to beat the Colts this weekend. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just think Colts drop one again, a little bit of doubt coming in the locker room a little bit. Texans on an absolute heater. If the Jaguars take care of business this weekend, you got 3 teams there in the AFC South that, again, AFC South, nobody really talked about that division like as the season started to unfold. But then you got 3 teams right now who'd be 1 game away from each other. And, dude, I've been taking beating after beating for my Chiefs take last week because I had the Colts. I had Danny Jones just being the guy to take down the dynasty. And yeah, you saw it
right there.
Yeah, it would have been nice if we put him away, okay? I mean, it looked easy early. But to your point about the AFC South, Field Yates just kind of put this tweet out. Colts play the Jags and Texans twice in the final 6 weeks. So you talk about chaos, it's very available. Now, the Tennessee Titans seemingly not even existing. You know, Cam Ward can make a couple throws very, very well. Can they put anything around him that he's going to have a great football career? TBD for sure. But the other three teams, to your point, really taking off. Really taking off. And the Chiefs might still be the Chiefs, brother. We're just not 100% sure yet.
No, listen, they won a game. They won at Arrowhead. The Chiefs, they're not still the Chiefs. The dynasty will fall. It just hasn't happened yet.
Oh, I didn't know you're a hater. You're a Chiefs hater? You don't.
No, listen, I appreciate greatness. I respect greatness. Whenever their doc comes out for the Chiefs, whenever that whole dynasty docu-series comes out, I will be right there on opening night because I love everything that they've ever done. But, you know, I like to have a little bit of fun on the internet. It feels like the Chiefs fans, you can kind of rattle them a lot of the times. And so I always appreciate a good little banter back and forth on the internet.
Okay, so you're all right. I respect what you're doing here.
Trolling.
Yeah, just complete trolling.
Just a little bit of chaos.
Theo Vaughn just said, Lane Kiffin's trolling somebody. We just don't know who it is.
Yeah.
He said every tweet he puts out is some scavenger hunt into his mind, and it's like, that's not a place you want to be. Who knows where he's going? What do you think about Lane's situation?
Dude, Lane has such an opportunity to be the biggest hero of all time or the biggest villain of all time. The way he's kind of maneuvered, he says he doesn't know what he wants to do. A lot of me just believes this dude might just be making a decision on Friday or Saturday. But, dude, if they win this Egg Bowl and he comes out and says he's staying at Ole Miss, like me, I would love to see him go as far as maybe he's telling LSU and Florida that he's coming. Like, when the game ends, he's texting them like, hey, these are going to be one of my spots. Gets Florida and LSU to believe. And just at the last second, he announces that he's staying at Ole Miss, tries to take shots at his competition by dragging him along this entire process and just stay home with Ole Miss. He would be the biggest hero of all time. But I'm telling you right now, if he leaves and he would be ripping the heart out of the chest of Ole Miss, and they would hate him so much because it would have went down in such an ugly way. I'm hopeful that he stays because, again, Ole Miss puts out their thing, hey, announcement's going to be made after the Egg Bowl. Then something leaks on Sunday, like LSU's prepared to offer $90 million, $100 million, $1 billion to Lane Kiffin. Seems like, hey, he might be leaning that way. I hope it's just all a drag-along troll sesh. He's trying to hurt the competition, and ultimately he stays home at Ole Miss.
All right. I think a lot of people are saying the same thing. I wonder if he's listening or if he's already made up his mind like D-Buds.
Already made up his mind. We know, and we kind of know.
Yeah. No, we don't.
Know. AJ knows.
He's out of there.
I know.
What?
Tate told everybody he knows.
They can't be too mad at him. Fans can't be too mad. That's how it works. That's how the game works. We know that. Will.
Got it.
Hey, Will, I want to ask you quickly about chaos. You talk about that. Well, first off, a two-part question. Vrabel, are you surprised how quickly, I guess, he's like the culture has got into the New England Patriots and how good they are? And second part, would you rather get you punched in the balls or spit on?
Good question.
On the football field, that is.
Great question.
To answer the second question, I'd rather get punched in the balls than spit on.
Yeah. Agreed.
Vrabel, I'm not surprised. Like, you just see the way this team's operated, the culture that's been, like, leaking into that team. Like, Stephon Diggs is fired up after the games. You got Henry the tight end, Drake May. You have all these hot mic moments with Vrabel and the way that everybody's kind of talking to each other, the leadership that goes on. And Drake May is just a superstar right now. The dude, he operates well in the pocket, super poised. It never seems like he gets rattled whatsoever. Always seems like they have the perfect touch on the football. New England, man, I'm surprised that they are this far ahead in the rebuild. I know people hate to hear the term rebuild and everything like that, but dude, it looks like they're gonna win that division. I still have them winning the division. It's easier to say now. I was talking about them upsetting the Bills back in September, I believe it was, but they're in a prime spot, dude. They're gonna be competing for the 1 seed in the AFC, which is nuts to think about. Like you talk about before the season, it'd be what, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Who's gonna get the 1 seed in the playoffs this year? Those 4 quarterbacks. And now we're sitting here. It's the Broncos and the New England Patriots. We're talking about Bo Nix and Drake May. Who's gonna get the 1 seed in the playoffs? And Danny Jones.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Afterthought. Like they're kind of an afterthought.
Oh my God.
But they dropped. I'm just saying the two lost teams right now. It's the Broncos and the Patriots.
I understand you had the Colts beating the Chiefs this past weekend, so you looked bad publicly, so you got to hold it against us all of a sudden. Just know, we still have Jonathan Taylor, okay? And maybe he wasn't able to run for shit against the Chiefs in Kansas City on grass, which people are starting to talk about. In outdoor stadiums, on grass.
Off a bar.
We're back in the Loud House this weekend. Just look for us to turn it up.
Who you guys playing?
Good team, a pretty good team. Yeah,
Tough defense over there.
Pretty good defense, yeah. Don't you worry about the Houston Texans.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not worried about anybody unless you're at the top, baby.
Okay, all right. Willie C., we appreciate you, man. Good luck on all your chaos everywhere you go.
All right, boys. Love you. Thanks for having me on, Pat.
You too, man. What's the final score? All right.
Happy Thanksgiving, man. Yeah. See you later, brother.
Yeah.